Wait on.
Okay, it's 5:30. We have a quorum. We're going to call to order the regular board meeting for the Tuscaloosa City Schools. It is May 20th, 2025. Let's observe a period of silence, and then we will follow that by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance. Attention, salute, pledge. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we get started, we'd like to officially welcome Mr. Clint Mountain to the group. We're super excited to have you, and we appreciate your service, man. Thank you. Okay, board, may I have a motion to adopt the May 20th, 2025 regular board meeting agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? The agenda will be adopted. Item 4, board may have a motion to approve the minutes of the May 6, 2025 regular board meeting and the minutes of the May 13th, 2025 board orientation.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. We have one abstention, is that correct?
Correct.
We have one abstention. We will still approve those minutes. Item number 5, receive Tuscaloosa City Board of Education, October 1, 2023 to September 30th, 2024 audit report. Mr. Peter Fisher. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. In accordance with the provisions of Code of Alabama 1975, Section 16-13A-73C, I am here to present our audit report on the Tuscaloosa City Board of Education covering the period October 1st, 2023 through September 30th, 2024. This report is available in its entirety on our website, www.examiners.alabama.gov. It was published on April 18th, 2025. We've conducted our audit in accordance with generally accepted auditing standards and government auditing standards for the purpose of rendering an opinion on the financial statements and to determine whether the board complied with applicable laws and regulations. We also conducted an audit of the board's federal financial assistance programs in accordance with the provisions of Title II, U.S. Code of Federal Regulations, Uniform Administrative Requirements, Cost Principles, and Audit Requirements for Federal Awards, the Uniform Guidance. We've issued an unmodified report on the board's financial statements for the year ended September 30th, 2024. We also issued an unmodified opinion on the major federal financial assistance programs, which were the Innovative Approaches to Literacy Grant and the COVID-19 Educational Stabilization Fund as of September 30th, 2024. There were no findings presented in our audit report. If there are any questions pertaining to this audit, please direct those questions to our main office in Montgomery. Once again, I'd like to thank all of the staff for accommodating us during the audit. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Fisher, and as he stated, no findings. So, Mr. Duke, appreciate all of the hard work that you and your team do to get us in a position of no findings of fault. So, keep up the great work. We appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, item 6, public comments. No one has signed up, which brings us to item 7, informational reports. Tonight we'll have 7B1, a report from our CSFO, Mr. J. Duke, where we will receive financial reports for October 1 through February 28th, and all reports are reconciled. Mr. Duke, good evening, sir.
Yes, sir. Good evening, Mr. Chairman, board members, superintendent, ladies and gentlemen.
Good evening.
As you mentioned, our financial reports through February the 28th. That's the 5th month of our fiscal year. So at this point, we're about 42% into our budget year. And we will start looking at property tax. At this point in time, property tax starts winding down. You can see that big drop from January to February in that far right column. And we appear to be having a decent year of property tax. And so what you'll probably see is the next few months, that number will get smaller and smaller and then finally wind down about June. Next, on to Car tag tax, steady, close to budget, kind of a little bit uneventful, but in a good way. It's slightly above budget, so we think we're good there on the car tag tax. And again, just like property tax, car tag tax, and then when we go to the next screen, sales tax, these are local revenues. So these type funds, the property tax, the car tag tax, the sales tax, these are the things that let us do what makes TCS special. Sales tax, you see a little bit of a drop there, and for the first time in several years, you see an overall drop versus the same period last year. So in particular, the bottom right there where you see the arrow that says compare, that 10,405 is less than the same period last year. First time we've seen that in a while. So we will continue to keep our eye on sales tax. You may wonder, and I do, how could that even happen? The economy's booming, prices are up. You would think the sales tax be more. I can tell you why. SSUT. SSUT. We get none of that. So all these online purchases, zero shows up on our screen here. So that's huge. I just can't, you're going to get tired of me probably talking about that, and you hear the mayor and the city council here locally talking about some dynamics that they're wanting to change, and we need to get it changed where we get something, because it's hurting us, and you see it right there. I'll keep moving on to our general fund management report. Again, we're about 41.7% through the year. The revenue there is in green. You see that 53.3% in revenue, obviously more than the 41%. And the reason is property tax is collected early in our fiscal year. It's collected October, November, December, January. And so that brings that number, kind of makes it look above budget, a little misleading, but nothing to be alarmed at. That'll start getting closer to our target as you see these months creep along as we report out. So, but the expenditures you see are about 2 percentage points below what we had budgeted. We've got some big bus purchases that are ongoing right now, so that number will again calibrate more towards our budget as the year goes on. One bus cost $137,000. We are buying 49 buses, so several $1 million. We've got that planned. We're using advancement technology money, so again, nothing to be alarmed about. But you'll notice that auxiliary services number right there in the middle of the expenditures is low now, but it's about to catch up as we purchase those buses, and we'll keep you up to date on that. Next, just a friendly reminder of where we spend our money. We talked about this a lot during the back during the referendum days, but just it never hurts to see where we put our money, and that's 72% in the classroom, and that's the two big bottom numbers there in green: instructional services and instructional support services. You see operations and maintenance at about $7.5 million. Auxiliary service, again, when you see auxiliary service, I put that in yellow for a reason. Think of a school bus, $3.6 million, and you see those numbers getting smaller. And general administrative expense had a little trouble fitting that number in there, but I wanted to put it in there, which leads me to my next slide, or two slides. I'll get to that. Chris, if you can skip on to the next slide, we'll come back to this one. General administrative services, right at 4%, and I'm very proud of that number. About probably 5 years ago, that number was around 5%. We have worked hard to get that down to 4%, and it's still trending down, we think. And the state recommends 5%, and it doesn't sound like a lot to go from 5 to 4, but that's a lot of work. That's a lot of emphasis and strategy. And what that does is allow us to put that money in the classroom. So, Chris, if you could back up one slide. I always like to present this slide. This is the one that we actually upload to the state of Alabama by law, the Alabama Department of Education. It's the what's called Exhibit F2A, and that's all of our funds across the board. So the one on the left is what we looked at earlier, the general fund management report, but you also see special revenue. Think federal programs like Title I, CMP, those type things. That's the second column. Debt service, we pay about $10 million in debt every year. And then debt service, and then our capital projects. You don't see any big numbers there. We're pretty good on capital projects right now. So, Mr. Chairman, with that, I'll wind down, and certainly always available for any questions, comments, complaints.
Questions for Mr. Duke? Mr. Duke, going from, excuse me, 5% to 4.05% saves about how much per year?
Hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Okay.
So in layman's terms, now that the legislative session is over, can you just break down what that might look like for us?
Sure. I'll focus briefly on the RAISE Act. We talked about that this morning, the new RAISE Act, and that's an acronym where they created another funding mechanism that will kind of ride side saddle with the foundation program. And so it's to put emphasis on certain populations of children, and I'll use a few examples: special ed, English language learners, high poverty, gifted. And so that money will come in kind of in a separate bucket. That'll give us some more money, but it will be kind of earmarked, and we'll try to be strategic with that, just like we did with our CARES Act funds. So we think that'll be about a $1.7 million boost to the Tuscaloosa City Schools. Keep it in mind, we're operating at about a $7 million deficit budget right now, so that'll help offset that deficit. So, the foundation program we think will increase a little bit, maybe $1 million or so. Again, that's good, but we're also operating at an $8 million budget to deficit. Another thing on the horizon, you may or may not have seen an article by the state superintendent, but school bus funding did not go up, and it has remained flat for years. We get $75,000 for a school bus, but we have to pay $137,000 for a school bus. That's a big disconnect. And so the state superintendent has a plan going forward, hopefully that will resonate with the legislature, and that's something that we may have to advocate for going forward, is to help funding for school buses. That's a huge cost for us. We have probably 130-something school buses. I think we have 113 routes, so that's a huge expense.
And when do we think that money will trickle down to us?
From the RAISE Act, that will start October 1st. Good question.
Jay, if you don't know, that's fine, but how does our transportation numbers and busing costs compare to other similarly situated systems, if you know?
We have a dynamic that a lot don't, and that's the intraday routes at TCTA, which kicks up our cost a little bit. So that's a good thing because we got TCTA, but that's one thing that kind of kicks our cost up a good bit. So another thing that on the other hand, we've through the last few years, we've had some savings from those propane buses, and some of those are timing out, and we're going back to diesel, but there was a few years there that we did have a little bit of savings from the propane fuel prices.
Any other questions for Mr. Duke? All right, thank you, sir.
Mm-hmm.
Once
Thank you.
again, very good job on the audit. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, number 8, election of Board of Education Vice Chair. Okay, so step 1, I'm going to call for nominations. A second is not required, and you can nominate yourself. After all nominations are submitted, there will be a motion and a second to close the nominations and to proceed with the vote. After that, Ms. House will get us paper ballots. Each board member will write the name of the board member in which they are voting for. If you'll fold them in half and pass them to me. You can vote for any board member, even if they're not a nominee, and you can vote for yourself. I will then announce each vote publicly to comply with the Open Meetings Act. If any board member receives a majority of the votes cast, they will serve as vice chair for the board's 4-year term. Okay, at this time, I'll open the floor for nominations.
Mr. Chair, I nominate Mr.
Marvin Dwayne Lucas.
Dwayne,
Dwayne.
is that real?
He drinking whatever she drinking. No, it's not for real.
Delshawn.
Any other nominations other than Marvin Lucas?
Dwayne.
Okay. I'll close nominations. And now I'll call for Ms. House to please give us paper ballots. Remember, you do not have to vote for the person nominated, although you certainly can. Anybody need a writing instrument? Don't forget to sign your ballot.
Oh, so it's not anonymous.
If everyone will pass their ballots to me, please.
No looking at it. Don't look.
And get a secretary to write, record. Oh, we got it.
You call out and I record.
Who's going to record? You?
You're gonna record, and then the secretary, right, or select.
Do song.
With great legs.
Not even, I'm not even gonna be
All right.
the secretary to record.
The first vote by me is for Marvin Lucas. Clint Mountain has voted for Marvin Lucas.
I don't think he know he doing what I'm
I
saying.
don't know who this is, but another vote for Marvin Lucas.
Just that Marvin is a chicken scratch, because that was probably mine.
I can't even tell which side is up and which side is down. Another vote for Marvin Lucas. Marvin Dwayne Lucas by Ms. Grant.
D.
Marvin by Leslie Powell. Marvin by Dr. KTJ. And Marvin Lucas by Ms. Williams. All right, congratulations, Mr. Lucas.
Come on, Marvin. Hey!
I just have a serious question. I'm just out of curiosity. Why do we do paper ballots and then we're gonna read our names? Why not just at this point, is it just part of the way our procedures are? If you're gonna read the names and not anonymous, then why don't we just go ahead and,
It's the way the state act reads.
it's the state act. That's all it is.
Is that also why, I couldn't understand why we go to the trouble of nominating if you can just write down whoever you want anyway.
We just do what the rules tell us. Not my rules. My rules will be different. All right, item number 9, we'll now approve the entering of the 2025 to 2029 elected Board of Education Certificate of Affirmation and Oaths of Office into the minutes. So board may have a motion to approve that being entered into the minutes.
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Be approved. Item number 10, introductions of motions, resolutions for a first reading, of which there are none, brings us to item number 11, the consent agenda. We have consent agenda items 11A, B, C, D, and E. Board may have a motion to approve.
So moved.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Those will be approved. Item 12, regular agenda items for final adoption. 12A, approve the superintendent's recommendation regarding changes in personnel. Dr. Cameron, good evening, sir.
Good evening, everyone. We have
Dr.
the
Cameron.
recommendations for changes in personnel. Also have a supplemental list. I'll go through both with you. Starting on page 1, you have 11 resignations, 5 reassignments, 1 transfer of a certified personnel, 4 part-time extended day tutors, 18 non-renewals of certified employees pursuant to the Students First Act. 7 non-renewals of classified employees pursuant to the Students First Act. 3 24-25 spring academic incentives. 1 24-25 contracted coach, and 1 declination. On the supplemental list, you have 10 resignations, 2 new certified personnel, 1 new support personnel, 1 approval for a 2-year probationary principal contract pursuant to the Teacher Accountability Act, 2 reassignments, 1 transfer of classified personnel, 5 transfer of certified personnel, 1 part-time extended day tutor, and 67 summer learning academy contingent upon student enrollment.
All right, thank you, Dr. Cameron. Board, are there any set-asides for a separate vote?
I just got a discussion on one. It's a good discussion.
Yeah, hold tight. Board, any set-asides? All right, hearing none, board may have a motion to approve the superintendent's recommendation. We have a motion to approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a motion and we have a second. Do we have discussion or questions?
Just discussion on number 9.
Okay?
Number 9, will be missed. This young lady is a great, she's moving on, she loves the school system, and I just think that, I just want to wish her well if she's watching. But she has helped a lot of students in our school system as a literacy coach. That's all I have to say.
Thank you, Ms. Grant.
She's
Any
moving
other
on.
discussion?
Just a general discussion, it may not be, it's not pertaining to an employee. So do we do it now? Okay. So, and it might be, I'm pretty sure Cameron can answer, do, or the superintendent, can we just, for the purpose of just as a refresher, talk about how not being able, I'm surprised Leslie's not leading the charge on this, the tax referendum, how did that impact what we're seeing this evening? A lot of people may be watching or looking, or tomorrow looking, and see that we have a lot of non-renewals. But just the impact, from the standpoint of the impact of not having additional funding, even though we just talked about the legislators looking at passing $1 million, but we still have a deficit. How does that impact our work? And then the second part is people will still see, oh, but we're hiring.
So, and Dr. Derry may want to chime in. All right, so we looked at the non-renewals of certified and classified, and there are a lot. There were more. Our team got together. We looked at things that we could do at central office to reduce cost. We looked at ways we could shift funding. So we started out at 82. Through attrition, we were able to save some positions. And then from this, you see what we have right now. We're always looking at different funding mechanisms that we can do. As Mr. Duke mentioned, that money coming in will go to different things because we have the budget deficit as well. Some of these are performance issues that are non-renewals, so they will be rehired. Those positions will be rehired. Some of these are reductions, looking at our schools and to decrease the local funds, so those won't be. So you have a mixture of, they're all non-renewals, but one could be performance reductions, but they all come out as non-renewals.
Thank you for bringing that up, Dr. Thompson-Jackson, because I did want to touch on that, the decisions that we're having to make, that you and your team have made, that we have all spent hours and hours and hours looking at every single one, and we have had to make some painful decisions. And it's
also like to add that, you know, after we got sworn in yesterday, I did a post about, you know, being on the board and how important it is to be a voice. However, sometimes it comes with challenges. And what I've seen over the last 8 years is the public, they'll get a piece of it and it's over with, you know, especially since we have social media. But I have grown to not pay it so much attention because I really know that this system, this board, Dr. Daria, yourself, Ms. Pam, you all work really hard for our the employees. And this was not, you know, we had a meeting, we don't want nobody gone. It didn't matter. But the tax referendum was something that, you know, our superintendent, along with ourselves, thought, and the city of Tuscaloosa and the city council thought that could keep us moving forward for the next, you know, when we're gone. But it didn't pass, and that was one way to keep it rolling. So then you have the people that say, well, the school system is managing money. But the school system is not, because the auditor just stood there and said he had no findings. So this innovative school system is only being innovative and trying to keep people, you know, moving forward and not being stuck in the Stone Ages and, you know, just trying to grow. And so I just wanted to make that statement that it's not us mismanaging money, it's not us want anybody gone. It's just a situation that's at hand that we have to do to keep ourselves, you know, going. Because Dr. Derry leaving next year, and this board not gonna be here forever. But for the next board members that come in and the next superintendent, not to be in just a terrible spot, you know. And that's how it's business. This school system, I have a love for, but it's also a very big business that has to keep afloat. And so, thank you for bringing that up, Dr. Jackson. Leslie, thank you for bringing that up, because I know it probably been, so, and thank you, thank all of you all, especially you, Mr. Wilson, that, you know, fought very hard, and because you sit here and understand what's really going on. And we do, as board members, we sworn in, it's a labor of love, and I know it's genuine with these people sitting on the board to get bashed with things that people just don't know, and our hands are tied and can't say every single thing that happens in the school system. Legally, we cannot. Thank you.
I'd just like to add a couple of things. One is that we have a lot of hard decisions to make, and some, you know, this day I've seen it for several years now, and this is a hard decision that has to be made. We agree. But to put the light on the picture, I'm gonna go to this line dance that everybody knows. Boots on the ground. We gotta put our boots on the ground, and we gotta continue to move forward. And the only way we're gonna do that is with every citizen of the city of Tuscaloosa, every member of our school system, helping fill the gap where we're missing that we can't get to. And we need your help, because our system is definitely moving forward, and we will continue to move forward, but we need your help. Put those boots on the ground.
I appreciate all the board's hard work, not only at the referendum, but also the last several months in reviewing all this with Dr. Cameron. Dr. Cameron, we appreciate the work that you and Ms. Scott and your team have poured into these very difficult decisions and situations. Y'all have managed it as well as can be expected, and we do appreciate your hard work and spending the time with the board so openly and honestly. So we don't want to be in this position, but we're here, and like Ms. Grant said, it's a tough job, and we're tasked to do it, but we appreciate your tough job as well.
Thank you.
And if I could say one more thing really fast, not because Dr. Deary is sitting here, but I don't care who don't like it or whatever, who's watching, but Dr. Deary has fought. I see it. He don't rest about the school system, and the financial is not in the worst state, but it's about being proactive is what we're doing here. And Dr. Deary could very well say deuces to you all, but he's staying another year to ensure that we are in a good position before the next superintendent comes in and take on how many ever millions be, how, I can't even think of what the budget is right now. $190 million budget. I was close. I was about to go there, but $190 million budget is a lot. And so, hey, he could go to the beach and say, yeah, I handled it. But he's still sitting here. Me personally, as much as I love the school system, I probably would have been at the beach on the sand. Nah, but I just wanted to say that publicly for the people that, you know, and I might get in trouble, I don't care, but for the people who might say, he's just anything crazy. This board really loves this system. So that's it.
All right. Any-
How will the individuals that are typically, how are they notified?
So Ms. Scott and I will go out and visit principals tomorrow, deliver letters. They'll notify the affected employees tomorrow afternoon.
So last paychecks, and this goes through,
So last paycheck will be July 31st. Insurance will carry through August 31st.
insurance, okay.
Yes, ma'am.
But as you said, some of them will have the opportunity to reapply.
Yes, sir,
For
they can.
open positions
Yes,
still
if
that
it's-
we have.
Yes, sir. They certainly will.
Any further questions or comments? Call for a vote. All in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Recommendations will pass. Thank you, Dr. Cameron. Item 12B, discuss approve the 2025 to 2026 Zello edition of grades 3 through 5 CCR platform one-year agreement. Dr. Pope, good evening, sir.
Good evening, Board. This recommendation is for Zello for grades 3 through 5. Last year, you approved 6 through 12. Zello platform is to support our college career readiness indicator for those students to select what their interests are. We decided that 6 through 12 had that platform to chart their path forward with future success. 3 through 5 did not have one, so we wanted to plug in, find out what their interests are, what their future pathway would be, and connect with college career readiness. So this is for the 1 year, the platform, data integration, and implementation services.
All right,
Questions?
board may have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Questions or discussion for Dr. Pope? Hearing none, I'll call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? That'll be approved.
Thank you.
Item 12C, approve the 2025 to 2026 leases and memorandum of understandings for New Heights. Dr. Daria?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Board. These are 5 leases of our partners at New Heights, serving our students, their families, and our community. And we'll have a couple more to come back that we're still waiting on a return, but these are 5 to present for you this evening.
Board may have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Questions or discussion?
A couple of these have been there, haven't they? They're just, are they all renewals?
Monthly renewal, annual renewal.
Okay,
That's right.
So all 5 of these have already been there, and they're renewing
That's right.
their contract for a whole nother year because we've been so incredibly successful.
Yep,
with what they've
and they're
been
great
doing.
partners. Absolutely.
I love it. They have been incredibly successful. I'm just
Absolutely.
saying, I just wanna shine a happy light on New
Ditto.
Heights. And what great things are being done there.
Thank you.
Also, Dr. Deere, if you have a moment, could you, with the echo what Leslie is saying, can you, for the people who don't know about these partnerships, can you just break it down really fast? What these partnerships do for our school system and students and families?
You know, the short of it is, this is an example of where the school system works closely with its community partners. And these community partners provide services in their mission that align with our needs. So at a very low cost, they pay a lease to be in our facility, and we get services because of their partnership with us. So they work with us for our families and our students, and actually the community as a whole. We have a couple other partners who are coming on board, but again, these fill in services that we can't necessarily afford using our K-12 budget, and that's where community partners fill in that gap for us, and they all have been absolutely amazing. Thank you for asking.
Thank you.
Okay, board, Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Those will be approved. 12D, discuss approve second reading of the 2025 to 2026 Tuscaloosa City School Academic Guide. Dr. Pope?
Yes, sir. Board, there has not been any changes from the last time we presented.
All right, board, may I have a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Questions or discussion? Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Be approved. 12E, discuss approve second reading of the 2025, 2026 Parent-Student Code of Conduct and Resource Guide.
Yes, sir, board members, there has not been any change to the code of conduct from the May 6th presentation.
Board may have a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second.
Questions or discussion? Y'all hearing anything on the cell phone front?
No, sir. I asked Derry that this morning. Yeah, I had nothing.
Okay, I've
Is
got
that
very
there?
little too.
Has anyone, we've been contacted by any cell phones?
Also, speaking of the cell phones, so of course it was all over Facebook, like that we just are enforcing this, and then we are behind. That was the other thing that was said, but we're getting in front of the situation. I think pretty good, but it's down from the state. This is not a Tuscaloosa City Schools decision to just ban cell phones, and I did want to say that publicly. Also, the enroll, enlist, and employ. We've been doing it.
Yes.
This a state. We've been doing it in our school system too, but it hasn't been a mandate for graduation. That comes from the state as well, and so I did want to publicly say that as well. How long have we been doing it?
Yeah, we knew this was coming about 2 years ago, so we jumped on making sure we were really intentional in being good at it. So, but your point is exactly right. The CCRI as a graduation requirement is in fact now a state requirement, but we have been doing it and really been deep in that work for now 2 or 3 years.
Okay, so there's one, the tax referendum, we were trying to be proactive, and we have no findings from our auditor. Number 2, the cell phones, there is not a state, there is not a Tuscaloosa City Schools mandate, that's a state mandate, and we are getting ahead of that situation.
And trying to inform people early before
Right,
fall
right.
occurs, and then it's all of a sudden, it's a shocker.
Right, right, and we know both sides of it. We know things happen, children need their phones. I'm that parent that like, hey, Paisley, text me if something go wrong, But on the flip side, we understand that things happen with those phones and it's taken away from our education, But I remember back in the day, you had to go to the office to use the phone, and it's phones in the rooms now. So,
Convenient.
but we got beat up on Facebook about it because it was us, we did it, and then we late. But the third thing is the enroll, enlist, and employ, which is an awesome event that we even have an event for it, has been in place in the Tuscaloosa City Schools and is from the state. It's not a requirement from Tuscaloosa City Schools, which the paper, I guess, wrote up like that is us doing it. But that's all I had to say.
And they can revisit the strategic plan, because that work is in the strategic plan that was in 2021.
Right.
Similarly, we were early adopters on the RB3 initiative, getting to that sooner than we were required to, but just another of many ways that we're,
They were behind us a year after that.
Dr. Darius' leadership doing some good work.
Yeah.
To confirm, you said that the code of conduct hasn't changed since May 6th, right? In it on May 6th was the new language about cell phones? Okay, so.
Yes. Everything on May 6th was the language, we were like following the bill throughout. So the language presented on May 6th is exactly what the state information.
And did we make the purchase on the bags? Did we decide to do that?
We did. We're proceeding with those.
All right, no further questions, board. Call for a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Anybody opposed? Be approved. Item 13, thank you, Dr. Pope. Item 13, we have no unfinished business to attend to. General announcements is item 14. We have Memorial Day is Monday, so schools will be closed. This coming up Monday, yes, May 26th, and then May 27th, Tuesday, we have 2 student hearings at central office. And any other board member have any other general announcement?
Stay out of trouble so we don't have to do student hearings.
Before we get, in a nice to what is what it is, but Dr. Gary, I noticed we do, not that I noticed, we will have 2 new principals. When would the community get to, since school is getting out, since Monday's a holiday, I'm pretty sure everybody's trying to figure out when it's time we do.
Those times, yes, thank you. The first order of business for the new principals to meet their faculty and staff. In one case, that was done today. We'll do the new principal for Oakdale here shortly. And then after that, we'll work with principals with Ms. Avant's office to put out public notification of when there'll be like a meet and greet. We have to time that right of when people are in town and with summer, but there will be an opportunity for parents and community members to come in and meet the new principals at Central High School and Oakdale Elementary School. But that date and time, those have not been posted as of yet. We want to wait till we get them on board in the schools before we confirm that.
So Oakdale will find out officially tomorrow, or they know now?
We'll send something out this evening on a release, so they will know here shortly.
Any other announcements?